All right. So, hello, good evening, and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub. And the countdown has been taken care of, and it's time for us to start. We are going to study the pin motif, and the lecture is for the under 1400 students. I'm so proud of the seniors, by the way, that it be said. I'm really proud of Vihang in Master Vihang Ghone in particular because he is showing tremendous progress. And why am I saying that in an under 1400 class is because I want you juniors to take some inspiration from your seniors, because today's seniors started off as junior. Believe me, VM was not always 2100. When he initially joined the hub, he also was new to chess. Now he's showing excellent progress, and this is what you should also try to do. You are an under 1400 student right now, but if you show consistent progress, and if you do what is being told, and your interests always stay high, you are also going to achieve the same. If not, you will even do better. Who knows? So draw inspiration from your seniors, and have a notepad ready, because there are going to be a few interesting things to note. Very warm welcome to Sagar, Namish. Well, Namish is particularly excited today because his favorite tactic is pin. Namish, am I right? That's what you said, right? Namish's favorite tactic is pin. He simply loves pins. Now we need a monitor. I'm still not sure where the monitor of the class Avadut belongs, the under 1400 or over 1400. He's somewhere in between that, I'm not sure. Maybe Prajna will be a good monitor for this class, I'm not sure, guys. So please let me know who wants to be the monitor. And Vihang, if you can throw some light on this, I mean, where does Avdut belong? The under 1400, the over 1400? Because if Avdut is in this group, then there is no need for another monitor. He is the monitor of the class anyway. I've appointed him as the monitor. Let me know, guys, let me know. Why do you need the notepad? Is because we are going to, whenever there is a point to be made, you should jot down those important things that your coach tells you. Let's start with the pin. When I say pin, what does that mean? A piece that cannot move simply is said to be pinned. The piece cannot move. If the piece moves, either it is illegal, or it would result in a heavy loss. Who is that? Radesh Savant is here. Well, you are on time, I must say, Radesh. I am impressed. Very good. And Vihang is saying, Vihang has a comment. He says that I used to hate pin, but now I know how to crack the pin. By the way, under 1400 students should also know this. Vihang's weakness, if at all, is there, if there is any at the moment in his game that's common, is still pin. I can tell you this. He's working hard on that, and now he probably is better than what he was. So yeah, that goes to show how important pins are. So under 1400, guys, pin is important. Okay, learn it. And he's saying that Avdut, the monitor, is in the under 1400 batch. So if he joins us on time, he will act as a monitor. If not, then for today's session, I'll appoint somebody else. Maybe if Vyung is not if Vyung is not playing the tournament, he can go ahead and be the monitor, just to type important sentences that I say so that you can jot them down. Prajna, very, very good evening. How are you? And by the way, Prajna, where are you? Are you in the city, or are you still in Surat? Where exactly are you? Please throw some light on that. Hello to Reyansh Inamdar. Reyansh is another player that is showing great progress. Ayush Chavan has joined us. Hello, Ayush. Today we are going to study the pin. Remember that. Okay. And Yatharth has started typing something. Yatharth, don't worry. As and when we come to the points, we will deal with it. Do the revision. I'll make my points. Something like that. All right. Let's start with the first position. And here is the first position I have for you. By the way, tomorrow I shall make an important announcement about how we are going to incorporate Omkar sir's lectures. We will do that this week, tomorrow maybe, or on Friday. This is the first position. let me make it clear that we want to start with something basic and move, then proceed to some challenging position. So this is the first one. Prajna is still in Surat. Okay, Prajna, take care. I'm sure that Pooja ma'am is missing you because you stay in the same building. This one is white to play. What do we have here? As usual, let's do some material count. Hey, Pooja ma'am, we were just talking about you and you are here. Well, are you still in Pune? Are you still at Kotrud? Where exactly are you? Have you come back to the city, or still Pune is where you are? Fallen in love with the city. Where are you? Hey, Purvesh is here. Purvesh also was out of town. Welcome back, Purvesh. I hope you have come back rejuvenated, ready to play some good chess. Here, I was talking about the material count. We have queens for both, and a couple of rooks, and a minor piece for black. So basically black is a piece up, but white's winning here because there is a pin to exploit. At the moment you can see that g7 pawn is pinned. Pawn on g7, guys, is pinned. This pawn here on g7, well, that's pinned by the queen to the king. Guys, that's how you talk, okay? You will say that the pawn is pinned by the queen to the king. This is how you are going to say it. And I think now this is the first time when I would want Vihang to actually write it down in the chat. Vihang, if you are with us. Pooja ma'am is saying no, she's back. She's not in Pune, she's back. Hey, Aritra Bakchi is with us, and she wants to know how to be pro in endgames. Is there any book to study? Well, I suggest that you go ahead and Google some free ebooks first before you actually study it from a book that you are probably required to buy from the market. Just Google good endgame positions and you'll have a lot of free ebooks on Google available, either in the PGN format. I don't know how they do it, but because there are many books, trust me, which are absolutely free. That's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. And this is for all, okay? This information is for all those who want to study the end games in detail, not just the pin. The topic for today is pin. You can actually Google for free chess books and you'll have a lot of free ebooks. I promise you that. Thank you. Prajna did that before Vihang. Vihang, you were supposed to do that, right? I mean, Prajna did it before you in the chat. The pawn is pinned to the king by the queen. And now going back to what Yatharth was saying, here the pawn on g7 is said to be absolutely pinned. I repeat, the pawn on g7 is said to be absolutely pinned because it's not that the movement of that pawn will result in a heavy loss. But simply speaking, that move is illegal. You just cannot move that pawn on g7 because the king will then be under fire straight away. That's illegal. Such a pin is called an absolute pin. So basically, absolute pin is when the piece is pinned to the king. Vihang, you need to do some work. Vihang has an endgame book, by the way, but I suggest at first go ahead and use the resources that are available at your disposal on Google. There are, of course, lot of books that you can go ahead and buy. Alright, so let's type this, Vihang. Let's type this. What is an absolute pin? When a piece is pinned to the king, you say that it is absolutely pinned. Okay, the rules of square, triangulation, good knowledge, Aritra, very good knowledge. Are you from Bengal? Where are you from? Please tell us more about yourself, Aritra. Guys, let's now focus on the solution here. The others, I'm sure that Namish would love to answer this. His favorite tactic is pin, and that is what we are studying. I expect Namish to really take the lead here. Come on, Namish. Your favorite tactic. We are doing your favorite tactic. So you should probably be the first one to share the answer. What's the line here? Do you want to start with a lovely sacrifice? Rook h8 check. Do you want to just take the pawn? Queen takes g7 check, but hey, the rook is also protecting it. You have to notice one thing, which is you don't want to give black a chance here, because otherwise we will be checkmated. Guys, point noted. Guys, point noted. You don't want to give, any chance here for white, sorry, for black, because we will be checkmated. Please make a note of that. Queen takes b2 and we will be checkmated. Thank you so much for people who are doing all this typing here. Thank you so much. So Namish has just typed okay so far, no answers. Again, I'm saying what you need to remember is queen takes b2 is a checkmate. So you don't want to give black any opportunity, because otherwise, forget about you winning, you will lose here. Checkmate. Queen takes b2 is checkmate. So it should be whatever method you employ, it has to be a direct method. Let's see if people have the answer here. Prajna says, let's go for rook h8. If king h8, then rook e8 is mate. I don't know in what universe that is made, Prajna. Let's see what you have typed here. Prajna, your answer. You are saying, let's go for rook h8 check, and after king takes h8, you are saying that rook e8 will be checkmate. Prajna forgot that the king can definitely come back to h7. Prajna, the king can come back to h7. What's up? That won't be checkmate. That is not checkmate, Prajna. You need to do something else. And yeah, so Aritra, I was right about your location. You are from Bengal. Well, we have Ankit Banerjee, who is from Kolkata. I don't know if you know each other, or just a coincidence that you are from Bengal. You are from Kharagpur, all right. He is from Kolkata. His name is Ankit Banerjee, our beloved Ankit Bandopadhyay. He is from Kolkata. So we have another one from Kolkata. All right. Love chess from heart. Well, that's great. You are here shows that you love chess. And I believe in Kolkata you would have people who play chess with tables along the street as well. I've seen that. It was shown on TV as well, by the way. So great enthusiasm in the city of joy. Meanwhile, Namish says, let's go for that h8 check, and then queen c8 check, then queen f5 check, king h8 and rook e8. Well, that's much a better answer, Namish. That is just brilliant. That is brilliant try. That is absolutely, and I think I need to share this with everybody. Rook h8 check, king takes h8, and queen c8 check. It's important you go c8, because once the king comes back to h7, you can then give a check from f5, and should the king go back again on h8, and then you can bring the other rook on e8 to deliver the checkmate. I think that's a very brilliant plan. That is a brilliant plan. Let's see if there's anybody else. Well, h8 means rook h8 check. Namish, you need to type it correctly. Of course, you need to say rook h8 check. Okay. So now Vihang is with us, and he's not doing any typing. Let's hope that he is with us. Otherwise, he probably would be better off playing a tournament. I don't know where Saumitra is today. Is he playing a tournament? Remember, for the seniors, there is always this target of doing well on Monday. We have the Swiss League tournament. Aritra, by the way, this is for you. If you are on leechess.org, if you have an ID on Leechess, you can join our team and play every Monday. Every Monday, we have a 12-round Swiss League tournament. So please make sure, if you are interested, you have an account on Leechess. Fine. What if black plays the rook back? Well, how can black play the rook back? There's pawn on g7, right? Guys, what's up? That's it. Where is Arya Mahakal today? I'm missing him. Manas Zope, I'm missing him. Yatharth is with us. Yatharth, Prajna, Radesh. Hey, that's nice. He has an ID as well. So remember, Aritra, what you can do is send your request to me on Vaidya's Chess Hub team. That's our name. Okay. The name of our team on Leeches is Vaidya's Chess Hub. You can go ahead and send a request and I will approve that, and you can play tournament every Monday 6 to 8. That's the timing. Okay. All right, let's get started, guys. So let's say if we go for rook h8 check is the best move indeed. And yes, the king has definitely taken the rook. Remember, Prajna, now rook e8 is not checkmate because the king can come back on h7. So that's why you play queen to c8 check. Now the king is on h7, therefore that's why it was important not to give the check from the d8 square. It was important, notice this, it's important to give the check from the c8 square. Now you can go ahead and play queen f5 check, and the rook comes back as expected. Everybody, we've talked about it, this was expected, is it not? What if the rook is played back? In fact, I think it was Yatharth who asked that, or maybe Rehansh asked that. Rook was played. Who said that? Somebody said that. Rehansh said that. Rehansh said that black rook can come back. Now you can clearly see another case of absolute pin. Remember, we were just talking about this. This is another case of absolute pin. The rook on g6 is said to be absolutely pinned because it cannot move now. And what is the rule now? You will jot down in your notepad. Attack a pinned piece more. Simple yet effective principle. First of all, we learned today that absolute pin is when a piece is pinned to the king. And now the principle I'm sharing with you is attack a pinned piece more. Under 1400, guys, when you are firm with these basics, you will do very well in chess. So when a piece is pinned to the king, it's absolutely pinned. There are two types, absolute pin and relative pin. We'll talk about that later. This one is absolute pin. The other thing is attack a pinned piece more. Why? Simple reason. The piece is pinned, right? It cannot move. That is why go ahead and attack the pinned piece more, which means that in this case, we have to go ahead and attack the rook on g6 more. And how is it that we can go about it? We can simply introduce another attacker. So the queen and the rook will attack the rook twice, whereas you will have only one defender. This is the king on h7. And then the rook is going to fall inevitably. Okay? We will get our rook back. I think more importantly, there could be a checkmate. Who knows? Alright, let's find out more. So we are going to go ahead and play the rook to g8. The queen has come to f1, check. There's no doubt about that. Now what we are going to do, take the queen, and that's it. Success. Congratulations to everybody. So, brilliant. And yes, Namish was the first one to give the answer. So it makes sense for Namish to say that I love pins. Aritra, I'm sure you enjoyed that. Nachiket Patel is here. I want to ask, what is your stream bitrate? I think it is 1500. 1500 maybe, because the upload speed is that way. And if I extend that, then there is some lag. That's the answer to Nachiket Patel. He was asking me what is the bitrate of my stream. Okay, let's go to the next one, guys. The next one is black to play. It's not white to play anymore. It is black to play. Let's do a quick material count. That's the first thing we always do. This is black to play. Where both of them have the queen. Where both of them, well, black doesn't have the second rook. White has two rooks. Black has one. What about the minor pieces? White has three minor pieces and black has all the four minor pieces. Sure. Point noted. And black has a fairly aggressive position. You can see that bishop is on f3, the bishop and the queen around the king. And the other factor is the dark color bishop is on b4. I'm not sure that that bishop is doing quite a lot, but still. We'll find out now. What is and the best pin idea here you would notice that the pawn on g2 probably is going to be pinned if there is another piece on the g file, which means that should the queen be somewhere on the squares g4 or g5, you would say that the pawn on g2 will then be absolutely pinned. Not at the moment. Should the queen be on g4 or g5, then you can say that that's the case here. Okay. Rajna says, I was the first to answer. Well, Namish shared that H8 idea, of course, but he did not say Rook H8. He just said H8. I don't know why. Now, meanwhile, Rutu is saying, oh, Nachiket Patil, no problem. You're welcome, buddy. So, are you also planning to stream something? Let me ask you, Nachiket. And by the way, how is the weather there in Badlapur? Because lately I'm noticing here, at least in my city, that the temperatures have become, extreme again. There's, it's like winter resurfacing. How about in your city? Queen g4 is the answer given by most. And I think I like the queen g4 idea. There are reasons why I'm saying that. Yes, Rayanch is right. In this position, we are losing our rook because the bishop is on g7 and our rook on h8 is trapped. As it is, black doesn't have the other rook. Queen g3. What are you talking about, Namish? Queen g3. Let me show it to you on the board. What are you talking about? Queen to g3. Have you noticed that these pawns will be waiting for us to do that? Queen g3. No, Namish, check the coordinates. What are you typing, my dear? Queen g3 is so not right. Queen g4 is what I like. Threatening checkmate. Aritra is also of the same opinion, and there is another reason why I'm saying so. Queen g4 is again utilizing the light color. So to stop the mate, let's say if if white pushes the pawn to g3, there is no real need to take the bishop. You know what? We will then go to h3 and then threaten mate on g2. Guys, please notice such plans. That's why instead of g5, let's go on g4 under 1400. Notice this idea. Yes, the pawn on g2 will be pinned even if the queen goes on g5. But the difference is that if you go on g4, you then can go to h3, the light colors, and then threaten mate on g2, which cannot be stopped. Yeah, that looks deadly. What is white going to do to stop that? I don't think there is any answer white as to that. Okay, so queen g4 is the best and we will go for queen g4. And as expected, white has pushed the pawn. So we are going to go forward, and now instead of winning the bishop, now I have a question for you. Do we need to win the bishop? The mate on g2 can be threatened if we go on the h3 square. Let's see what are black's options here for taking the bishop and going to h3. The idea then is that this mate on g2, and white will have to search for some checks, but he's not going to have any checks. I don't think so. There is no check. Yep. So we are going to go h3 here instead of taking the bishop. There you go. The queen's checked, and so we are definitely going to take the queen. Notice now, in big hurry, in such situations, I've seen the players, fumble and make an embarrassing mistake. The thing is, here in such a position, just because you know that there is mate on g2, do not go ahead and bring your king to safety, because otherwise white will end up winning our queen. Alert! Seniors won't do that, but at your level it is quite possible, because our plan was mate on g2. Let's move the king. If you move the king now, white is going to take the black queen. Possible errors. So take the queen. And that's it. Got it, guys. Brilliant. This next position is again black to play. Congratulations, we got two positions right. Perfect. Now here the material looks more balanced. Both the white and black, well, they have rook and a minor piece, the bishop. Dark colored bishop. Whenever you refer to bishops, you must talk about the bishop being the light colored bishop or the dark colored bishop. In this case, both of them have the dark colored bishops. Black bishop is on g5 and white has the bishop on b6. We are going to utilize pin, so it's very obvious where the pin is going to come from. You know how to look for pins. Now this is something that you are going to make a note of in your notepad, guys. What is the thing to note here? How to look for a pin. How to look for a pin. Two important pieces on the same file, on the same rank, in the same diagonal. What did I just say? Guys, these are important things. This doing positions is not my logic. This is a proper lecture for the under 1400. Please make a note of these points. It will make you a very good player, champion for the future. How to, we now know what is a pin. So far we've had absolute pins. So how to look for a pin? Three things. Two important pieces. Number one, in the same file, on the same rank, in the same diagonal or on the same diagonal. Clear? I want somebody to type that. This is very important information I shared with you. Just go ahead and somebody, maybe Prajna, go ahead and type that so that everybody can actually jot this point down. So this is the way we are going to look for pin. You now know what is pin, but how to look for a pin? What is the condition? What are the conditions? So two pieces, what did I say, the three conditions? In the same file, on the same rank, on the same diagonal, then you can look for a pin. Now in this case, you see that the white king is on b1, the bishop is on b6, which means two pieces are in the same file, the b file, or on the same file, b file. Therefore, we can utilize it by putting our rook on the b8 square. Guys, that's why I'm saying don't just solve the positions. Do not just solve the positions. It's important that you actually go ahead and understand how to look for pins. I have a small question. I'll tell you what the question is. Yes, we can pin the bishop by taking our rook on b8. Agreed. What can white do to support the bishop? Who can answer that? Thank you, Prajna. I have not tried Puzzle Storm. I will try that. I have not tried that. Ayush Tavde, stop apologizing for being late. I don't like people who get late for the lectures. I mean, that's not fair, dude. That is so not fair. This lecture is for you. You know how much important stuff has been discussed so far? The points, the positions. This is already the third position. Don't be late by a 20-25 minutes time span because you have already missed half the lecture. What's the point of it all? You tell me. You tell me. You missed half the lecture. We're going to stop at 7 anyway. Thank you, Namish. Two important pieces in the same file, diagonal or in a rank. Now, I asked everybody a question. Nobody answered that. Yes, we can play rook b8. What can white do to support the bishop? Aritra is right. Rook d6 will support. Aritra, wonderful. Rook d6 will support. And I just told you another important principle in today's lecture. What was the other principle I told you? Yes, pin the piece. That's principle number 1. The other principle I taught you was attack a pinned piece more. Remember, we talked about that. So here, rook d6 will bring support to the bishop. So what to do? Attack the pinned piece more, which means that we will attack the bishop one more time. Now take a look at the position and tell me how can we attack the bishop one more time here. We have to attack the bishop one more time. So first let me go ahead and pin the bishop. That's it. See, we pinned the bishop, which is an absolute pin. We saw that. And now white has played rook to d6 as thought by all of you. Yes, it is a pin. Now what is it that we can play to attack the pinned piece more? That's the principle. Pin the piece and attack it more. So how can that bishop on b6 be attacked one more time? Let's see who's the first to answer that. Under 1400 batch. Come on. The rook b5 support will not be good, Pooja ma'am, because our pawn will take the rook. Notice that, Pooja ma'am. This is for Pooja ma'am. You cannot put the rook in between. That is on b5 because our pawn will take the rook on b5. So rook d6 support is right. Thank you, Namish. Attack the pinned piece more. Namish actually had the caps lock on, but he also used the shift key. So the only letter that was required in capital became small case and everything else is in capital. And that's why, remember I told you, both are dark colored bishops. What did I say? Both are dark colored bishops. That's why Pooja ma'am is right. Pooja ma'am is right. Very good. Bishop d8 is absolutely the right move here. I'm so happy. We are now going to bring the bishop to d8, and so the bishop will also start attacking the bishop on b6. And bishop d8 will not work. Aritra is saying it will work. Why will it not work? Aritra will say the answer. Why will it not work, Aritra? It's an important thing. Why will it not work? It's a very important point. Why will it not work? Because rook will take on d8. Because rook will take on d8. So now the big question. Now then what to do? Yes, the rook can take our bishop. And then if rook takes rook, then the bishop will not be pinned anymore. The bishop can take. So my question then is, can we go ahead and play this bishop over here on e3 to attack the bishop? No, the pawn can take. That's another thing to note. So what exactly is it that we can do? Think about it. It's a very, very nice position. Bishop d8 will not work. And why? Because rook will take. Very nice, Aritra. Very good. Khoob bhalo for you from Mumbai. Khoob bhalo. Mishti. All right. So, if bishop d8 will not work, then what is it that we can do? There is something we can do. The idea, remember, is to attack the bishop. Don't forget that. Prajna, no, it will not work. The rook will take the bishop and it will be a check. Yes, bishop e7, Rutu. Bishop e7. Now let's talk about it a little bit. I'll cancel all the wrong arrows, by the way. Let's bring the bishop to this square e7 and attack the rook. Now remember that if white has to support the bishop, the only square for the rook will then be rook to c6. And after that we can go with our bishop to d8 and then continue attacking the bishop on b6, because then when the rook comes on c8, well, it's not a check and the rook will be free if that happens. Notice the plan, guys. Notice the plan. You are welcome, Aritra. You're saying thank you, sir. You're welcome. Now, bishop e7. Remember, bishop e7, rook c6, and then we can play bishop d8. So the idea is to go with our bishop on d8 but not directly. It's indirectly. Then you bring your bishop on d8. I'm sure you like that idea. It's a brilliant way to attack it. I'm sure everybody noticed that. Guys, watch this. Rook c6. That's the plan. Rook will go to c6. And later, let's do this. Now the rook has gone to c6. And now we can play the bishop to d8, which was our plan initially. And then we will have our victory. I hope Aritra has understood that. He's retracted his message. Success! We got it right again. That is just brilliant. Well, this one is white to play, not black to play. This is our fourth position. We are doing it very well. Again, let's take a look at the material count here. Prajna is saying, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Very good. If I thought you were saying that it will work, yes, bishop d8 idea was the right idea. But for others, I'm saying, it was not a direct bishop d8. First bishop e7, just to distract the rook, and then bishop d8. And now for this position, both have got the queens, both have got a rook, both have got the dark colored bishop, light colored bishop, the bishop pair. Make a note of these things, guys. When you have both the bishops, you have the bishop pair. You talk chess language. Somebody type it in the chat. Both the sides have bishop pair. Both the sides have the bishop pair. Go ahead and type this. Both the sides have the bishop pair. This is how you talk in chess. Additionally, black has a minor piece. Knight on f6. Brilliant. Black has a knight on f6. So black is a piece up here. Now, which piece is pinned here? Potentially, both the bishops will be under pin. The bishop on e7 is more like an X-ray pin. It's called an X-ray pin. And the bishop on e7 at the moment also in sort of an X-ray, because then there is a bishop on e7. Well, one of the bishops move and the other one is obviously under threat. The e7 rook is particularly pinned because of the bishop on a6 already attacking it. Please remember that. Already attacking it. We already have the answers. Aritra says bishop c6. Well, Aritra, if you want to say bishop c6, put the B capital. Bishop c6. So use the capital letter B. Okay. Thank you, Yatharth. Yatharth has done the typing. Both the sides have a bishop pair. Thank you, Yatharth. Thank you so much. Correctly typed. Rutu also did that. Not bishop line. Bishop pair. Not bishop line. Bishop pair. Yatharth typed it correctly. Prashna says bishop c6 check. Bishop d7. Then maybe rook e1. That will also greatly help. Well, for bishop c6, mind you, black can also play king f8. Think about that. Think about that. I want you to spend some time with this position. Don't be in great hurry. Bishop c6 check. Look at the possibilities. I want to show you one possibility. I'm sure you've seen that, but anyway, if we play bishop c6 check, should black block the check with the knight, well, then the rook on h8 is free. Guys, kindly type if you have noticed this. A very important thing, very important thing. Bishop c6 check, black cannot block it with the knight because the rook on h8 is hanging. Again, talk in chess language. The rook on h8 is hanging without support. Under 1400 batch. The rook on h8 is hanging. So it's a very important thing to note. That's how you talk in chess. The rook on h8 is hanging. So, bishop c6 check. If the bishop blocks the check, what can you do? Then maybe what you can do maybe is introduce the rook in the attack. Anybody with the complete line here? Prajna has given us a rough line with bishop d7. And she says maybe then later rook e1. Then Rayansh, what is your answer? Rayansh says, Rayansh did not think of bishop c6. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, queen b8 check, and then bishop c6. Namish has a different answer. Let's see what he's saying. He's saying, let's first take this bishop on e7, and if queen takes it, then we have queen b8 check. Whoa, that's deadly. And then if there is king to d7, then bishop c6 is actually checkmate. Oh, whoa, did you notice that? Did you notice that? How many people notice this? If bishop e7, if queen takes e7, if the king can also take, but if queen, then queen b8 check, king d7, bishop c6 is checkmate. Complications. Suddenly there are a lot many things to study. But of course, you know that the king can also take on e7 after bishop takes first. Well, how about starting with the bishop c6 check? Are you all okay with bishop? I've said that already. Bishop takes d7. Yeah, Namish is saying bishop takes d7 is possible when the king is on d7. When the king is on d7, bishop d7 will block it. Okay, bishop d7 can block it, right? Let's see. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e7. Now we play queen b8 check. The king is on d7. How can the bishop go on d7, Namish? That won't happen. Let's talk of bishop c6 check. Then there is king f8. And I wonder after that, we have a piece. Guys, how many people notice that we then can play this move, which is queen takes knight, because the bishop will then pin the bishop on e7. How many guys noticed that? Bishop c6 check, if king f8, queen takes f6 is a piece. Notice this, guys. This is nice. Okay, so let's go ahead. Bishop c6 check. And now we have a free piece. I talked about it. Now we have a free piece, guys. We can just take this knight. Notice how this bishop is nicely pinned to the king. Absolutely pinned. Absolutely pinned. No, we are right. Bishop c6 check is the winning move. Aritra, I'm sure you enjoyed this. Now watch this. How beautifully we can go ahead and take the knight. Now another thing to notice is after we take the knight, black can take our bishop on a3. Black can do that. But then we will win the queen. Then we can win the queen if bishop takes our bishop on a3. That's awesome. So let's take the knight. That's it. Done deal. Now if black were to take our bishop, well, the queen is free. The rook is free, whatever we want, but queen is of higher value. This is absolutely brilliant and stunning. The next one then. This one is white to play. So far so good. This is our 5th position, guys. Position number 5 for today. Now we are moving to some positions of real interest here. Well, one thing is for sure. Why would black in that position make the king move? After bishop to this move here, let's say I want to go back and show you the analysis. Let's say if bishop blocks it, then the idea of bishop takes e7 is strong. Queen has to take it. The king cannot take it because of our queen. Okay. Then we have queen b8 check, which you all thought. And now, well, there is nothing, no real move than to block it with the queen. And then you have rook e1 check, and the queen is free. Guys, I'm sure you're noticing that the queen is free here. Just a quick analysis. Okay. Meanwhile, this one is black to play. We went to the position back again, so the position has changed. This is black to play position now. 5th position for today. So I hope Namish got the answer. If bishop is blocked, that's what happens. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, queen b8 check. So let us now again look at the material count here in this position. Both the players have the queen. Is there a bishop pair? No. Well, there are 2 bishops on the board, but white has 1 bishop and black has a bishop. So it's not a bishop pair. Both have a knight. Both have 2 rooks. And black has 5 pawns. White has 6 pawns. White is a pawn up here. And look at that knight on c8. What's that doing there? Black is definitely better here. What is the pinned piece here? Such an interesting position. What can we do in this position, guys? This is nice. 5th position. Let's finish with all 5. Not finish actually, we'll go on. We have a lot of time at hand. Let's not break the winning streak. So Ayush Taude is right. He's saying that knight on c8 is hanging. We can take that. Is there a better move? Is there a better move? Sagar has the move. But Sagar, after what you have said, there is a nice defense for white. There is a nice defense for white. Although I will say Sagar's answer is correct. So what to do? I will show you on the board. Watch this. We will play bishop g5, pinning the queen. But you know what? White will play f4. Then what are we going to do? Now I want you to tell me. Now what to do? Hey, Etasha from Bhandup. Welcome, Etasha. How are you? By the way, guys, Etasha is also our student. She's from Bhandup, and I hope you remember the hub, Etasha, and you're doing well in the new location you shifted, is it not? How are you, Etasha? Guys, f4 will be played by white, but still Sagar's answer is correct. I'm going to give you a clue here. Prajna, Namish, Rayanch, I'm going to give you a clue now. After white plays f4, we can take that pawn and then look for a fork. Guys, look for a fork. Come on, do you see that now? Tell me, guys. Tell me, do you see a nice knight fork here? I am sure you see that. Come on, under 1400 champs. After white plays f4, we can take that pawn and then, yes, Sagar again. So I think Sagar saw the complete answer, and now Prajna also has realized it. OMG, that's right. That is right. So now Prajna realizes, yes, it's actually very easy. But that's interesting. Prajna, now you realize why you have to spend time doing some calculation. It's important to see what will happen next. Look at the calculation. I want you to increase that kind of an attitude where you go on calculating. Bishop g5, okay, queen is pinned, but white has f4. Well, then what do you do? Bishop takes f4, or the queen takes f4, and knight e2 check is a fork. That is just brilliant. Super answer. Let's do it. Now notice this. Guys, this is something to notice. The queen would take and then knight e2. And how nicely will we get our piece back? Not just the piece back, in fact, we'll win the queen here. Beautiful. Look at this move. Now look at the power of this move here. So although we are studying pins here, I think, again, something for you to write in the notepad, guys. What can you write in the notepad? You can write it in the notepad. There can be, pardon, there can be a combination of two tactics in one position. A combination of two tactics in one position. Note it, jot it down. So when you are looking for pin, doesn't mean that you just stop looking at the pin. And what after that? So it can be a combination of two different motifs, two different tactics. For example, in this position, what did we see? There was the pin idea, and later with a nice sacrifice, we actually managed a fork. And what's a fork? When a piece attacks two or more pieces at the same time. When a piece attacks two or more pieces at the same time. But in this position, you can see that there is a knight fork. The knight is attacking the king, it's a check, and also attacking the queen on f4, which we eventually will win. All right then. I hope that, can we just take this? Can, right? No! Guys, look at the tactics here. Look at the tactics here. Should I take with the bishop? Prajna, once again, I'm going to ask you if you still think it's easy. It's not easy, is it not? Now, should I take with the rook here? If I take with the rook, well, notice our queen is a goner. Have you noticed that? So, should I take with the rook or should I take with the king? Just when you thought that the position was solved, guess what? It's not solved. Now it will be solved. Ayush Tavade wants me to repeat what I said. Well, Prajna has typed it. There could be, by the way, Prajna with the wrong spelling. It's T-H-E-R-E, not T-H-E-I-R. There could be two tactics in one position. There could be T-H-E-R-E, not T-H-E-I-R. Prajna, what's up? You made that mistake. There could be two tactics in one position. So just don't stop at one. It could be a combination of two tactics in one position. I think I use the word combination in addition to what Prajna has written, okay? So guys, properly understand this. Just when you thought that the position was solved, well, it was not solved. Now we cannot take with the rook. We will take with the king. So now when our queen is taken, we will win the rook. We will win the rook. It's important. Please type it. We are in check. Don't say queen takes c8. We are in check. Rutu said, let's take the knight. King should take. Very nice, under 1400, guys. Very good. Remember, had we taken with the rook, then we would not have been able to win this rook right now. Now it is solved. How brilliant was that, guys? How brilliant was that? 5 out of 5. And now this is the 6th position. Black to play. Again, let's see if there is something interesting you can spot. We are looking for a pin idea. What is that one piece that can be pinned here? Look at the same file. Look at the same rank. Look at the same diagonal. Those are the things. What is this exactly? Come on, guys. What is a pin here? It's a very interesting position. Very interesting position indeed. So what is the thing that you want to achieve here? Again, I'm saying you always at last position taught you something, and I'm going to give you a big clue here. You are the under 1400 guys. I should give you the clue. The clue here, guys, is that in this position again, you have to look for a combination of two tactics. Yes, first the pin, and later, again this time it's a fork. I repeat, first I'll take you to the position, but understand this. First look at a pin and follow that with a nice fork. Okay, so let's see. This is the clue I gave you guys. That's a clue you have. So what's up? Tell me. This is nice. What to do now? Very interesting. I think the first pin is easy to see, so I'm going to help you with some clue here. I think the first move is very easy to see. Bishop takes, right? Then the queen is absolutely pinned. I'm sure you saw that. I have no doubt that this is just too easy. First, we are going to take the knight and the queen will be pinned. Pooja ma'am, not knight. Pooja ma'am, just because Prajna made a spelling mistake, the society member again should make the same error. Look, Prajna, Pooja ma'am is supporting you. You made that THEIR spelling mistake, and so Pooja ma'am is saying NIGHT night instead of KNIGHT. Pooja ma'am, why are you supporting Prajna? Okay, so bishop can take the knight, but which one? The one that pins the queen, and then queen can take back. So guys, the queen can take back. Then what? Then how can we do a fork? Guys, talk about that. How can there be a fork after that? It's a fork with the pawn. Let's go ahead and see if you can find out. It's a fork, believe me, with a pawn. Game over for white. I can see that. Game over. It will be a very nice idea. And I think Namish has the answer. Namish Dhake with the correct answer. F4. Brilliant. Guys, watch this. So first bishop will take the knight. And then this will be a pin. Yes, it will be a pin. And the queen will then take the bishop. And now look at these sitting ducks. Queen and the knight. Nicely, you can just push the pawn for a fork. And the queen will be supporting the pawn. You got to notice that as well. Guys, notice, you just don't play f4. The queen will support the pawn on f4. That is very important. We can fork with all the pieces. So right you are. We can fork with all the pieces. Even the king can fork. That's right. Even the king can fork. So important. So important. Okay. Guys, I'm sure you have noticed that. Let's play f4. And the position is solved. Let's do this one. This is white to play. I'm going to change it from black to play to white to play. And what's the material here? Well, huge advantage. Black has a queen. Whoa. We are in check already. Now what? So should we move the king? Should we take the queen? And what about the pin? What about the pin here? We are in check. I think that's very easy. We are in check. So should we move the king to e2? Should we take the queen with the rook? I think that is what we will have to do, right? Sure. And notice also the idea that we need two moves to make a queen, and the knight can stop that in two moves. Guys, I want you to understand that. Please understand this. Our pawn will need two moves. Our pawn will need two moves to go to h8 and become a queen, get the promotion. We call that promotion, pawn promotion. Notepad, write down such things. Pawn promotion. But unfortunately, the knight can come to f4. The knight can come to f4 and then on g6. And the knight can then stop the promotion. So, we have to take the queen. And now let us see if you understand what will happen later. So, let's take the queen. And it's a fork. The knight has not gone for the pawn. The knight has not gone for the pawn, but for the fork. So now, should we move and allow the black pawn to promote away from the pawn? Or should we occupy the e1 square? Question. Should we occupy the e1 square? We don't want to go away, right? Should we care to support the pawn, or sorry, the rook? Should we care for that? What shall we do? What shall we do? Rayansh, we don't have a knight. Opponent has the knight. We know that we don't have the knight. Prasna was talking about opponent giving knight c3 check. So everybody is saying king e1. So if we play king e1, then black has no check. Let's take a look at this position now. King e1. Then knight takes rook. Let's give it blue color. Then we push the pawn. Then maybe, yeah, that's it. Knight here. We make the queen. And knight check. King to e2, and that's it. We can easily win from there. That's it, guys. We got that. Next position. This is the final position for today. And it is white to play. Final position for today. Come on, let's do it. Final position for today. We have gotten all correct thus far. Let's end it with... Wow, this one is saying almost 1600. That's nice. Very good. Guys, again, what is pinned here? What is it that we can do? Do you notice something special? Can we win something by force? Guys, again, in this position, I want you to notice that if queen c5 check is played, the king has to move somewhere, and the king and the queen will be on one diagonal. So we can probably play rook e1. How many people like that idea? If we play queen c5 check, queen c5 check, we can then play rook e1. How many people like that idea? Comments in the chat. Is it rook e1 first? Do we want to play rook e1 first? Or do we first want to play queen c5 check? queen c5 check. Then we can play rook e1 because the king and the queen will be on the same file. The king cannot move out of the pin. The king cannot move out of the pin. Notice that. Otherwise, I would not have suggested queen c5 check. What are the squares for the king to go? Cannot go on f8. e8 is fine for us. e6, fine for us. Cannot come to the d file because of the rook. So queen c5 check. The king and the queen will stay on the e file. Remember, we studied that today in the notepad. You made a note of this. In when talking about a pin, same file, same diagonal, and same rank. So over here, after queen c5 check, the king and the queen will remain on the e file itself, and then you can probably play rook e1. Let's consider after that black plays the move rook d1. That's possible, is it not? Oh, black played rook to d6. Now that's very easy, guys. We'll just pin the queen and we are winning here. Sensational. Absolutely sensational. Absolute pin. We didn't have any relative pins today. We did all absolute pins today and got all of them correct. I'm very happy that we did play really well and we learned a lot. We had a new visitor from Kolkata. Brilliant. We will stop for now. We will meet on Friday. On Friday, I'm going to play games with you. Remember, under 1400 guys, I'm going to play games with you. So up until that time, do take care. Study from whatever it is we studied in this lecture. Go ahead and revise, study more. One more thing I pointed out in this lecture is there are a lot of free ebooks on Google. Just go ahead and search for free ebooks, chess ebooks, electronic books, which are free to download. Okay, take help from your parents in doing so. We'll meet again soon. Do take care.